Hot summer days. A unique time of vacations and active rest, which in some cases is accompanied by some discomfort. For example, air conditioners turned on to neutralize the effects of high temperatures, swimming in swimming pools or seas, and indulging in diving as a result, not infrequently aggravate the problem, which can plague us all summer long. Sinusitis, an inflammatory process of the appendages, the cause of which can be exacerbated by the factors mentioned above. That is why the problem of sinusitis is especially prominent in the summer season.
Sinusitis is an inflammatory process of our sinuses. It usually starts with a trivial cold that goes unnoticed. In many cases, this cold or flu goes away on its own, but in some cases, it turns into a chronic process that initially does not show any symptoms, but over time it appears.
As for the clinical picture of sinusitis, it is manifested by extremely unpleasant and, to put it mildly, uncomfortable symptoms.
This can manifest itself in pain, difficulty breathing when there is already a blockage in the nasal area of the sinuses. And if at first it starts only in this nasal area, then it moves to the Highmore sinus and highmoritis appears, that is inflammation of the sinus. Then it goes up where we have the frontal lobe and the frontitis appears. That is, these cavities are connected to each other, and during the inflammatory process, exudates are released, and the person feels some fluids coming down. It's especially unpleasant when you wake up in the morning, when this inflammatory infected fluid collects and goes down the esophagus or it goes into the respiratory tract and causes serious discomfort.
The word discomfort in this case only partially expresses the severity of the problem, not to mention its possible complications.
Often this is also released during the day and people find it difficult to do normal, daily and routine things. Because patients come to me who are in such positions that they have to hold meetings and hold sessions, and they cannot sit there all the time and periodically have to go out and solve this problem and clean it. It is also a potentially dangerous disease, because if there is some pain at first, allergies and other problems will be added to it, but eventually it can spread to the brain and cause inflammation of the brain, because these organs are close to the brain. That's why such cases happen, and when it happens, it's already a serious problem, and then the fight to save this person begins.
There are many reasons for the violation of the natural drainage of the nose and its cavity. The symptoms of the disease are no less diverse, which cannot really be said about the diagnosed treatment methods. Diagnosis in this condition is made on the basis of endoscopy of the nose or radiological examination of the nasal appendages. As for medical treatment, nasal irrigation, corticosteroids, and antibiotic therapy in case of bacterial infection are used at this time.
Another sad moment is that it doesn't go away by itself. Even antibiotics can't help it because it's such a cavity, where antibiotics can't enter. Despite the local spraying of aerosols or other things locations where there is a problem, it still does not penetrate completely. Many people have undergone surgery, that is, even surgically, but it does not help, because it is difficult to penetrate there and act on it, and often it gives a temporary effect. This shows how problematic this pathology is.
This time we are telling you about our completely innovative method, which was successfully introduced at the RegMed Georgia Clinic, similar to the leading clinics of the United States of America, and thanks to which many severe ill patients have gained health, normal breathing, and a healthy lifestyle.
What are we doing? We introduce into these passages, into the nostrils, a medium that is gaseous. Therefore, it spreads easily in all these organs. it does not stay in place, insufflation occurs. That is, if you splash the liquid, it cannot rise up, it remains only in this area, and when it is gaseous, it rises and spreads to all the bowels, and at the same time fills the entire space. With that, it is good and kills this infection, of course. The good thing is that at this time there is no pain, it does not cause discomfort, and besides, it can be repeated. That is, resistance does not develop here, as for example in the case of antibiotics, if, say, they give certain doses and it does not help, and they add more, etc. Then this infection does not respond to antibiotics at all. Here it always kills and also kills any aggressor, it can be a virus, bacteria or fungus in particular. And that's good. But this approach alone is not enough. Our treatment includes more. It is irradiated with red light for 20 minutes, and this is a special device that emits waves of different frequencies that enter the tissues at different depths and cause their positive processes there. In addition to killing the infection, they also stimulate the mitochondria, they affect the release of stem cells, the release of growth factors, and they start all these repair processes.
Yes, his method of treatment maximally activates the regenerative resources of the body, thanks to which the effect is not on the result, but on the cause. Accordingly, the disease is completely cured.
Our immunity is trying to suppress this infection. In any case, do not allow it to spread further, which is difficult. And this is how we are in conflict. This is how our immunity is in a fight. It is in a 24-hour fight mode. And as the strength of our immune system weakens and the potential falls, the patient easily gets sick and gets colds and flu. Everyone mentions it.
Examples of successful treatment among RegMed patients are numerous. People who have been suffering from deep chronic sinusitis for years and sometimes even decades were given a new breath in RegMed, both literally and figuratively. The hard years of living with sinusitis have become only an unpleasant memory. It happened to me when I was a student. I didn't realize that I had developed indecency. It lasted for some years. After I had a baby, my immunity decreased even more, and then the sensitivities started burning in my throat. It was something terrible. I had developed indecency. My character has changed. I went to procedures periodically to be treated by a doctor, but it had no results. Some time would pass and it would start again. Several years ago, I had respiratory failure. Then I went to the clinic. It turned out that I had sinusitis and they operated on me. This surgery was successful, but the problem of the sinusitis was still not solved. I couldn't come up with a sentence to say something. Something was pressing in my throat and causing me to cough. I was coughing for 7 months. For a whole hour this discharge was coming from above. It goes into the throat and chokes the person. And for 1 hour continuously, 2 hours in a row I had such problems. It was completely resolved. It was completely resolved. Completely disappeared. At first I didn't understand what was going on, because it seemed empty, but as soon as he put in my nose the syringe, I felt something was going on and it opened directly my nasal passages and I felt relieved as soon as he applied. It felt really good. It was December when I came to Dr. Tengas and he told me that there is such and such a situation and I did a procedure. I dared.
In many cases, the effect is visible right after the first session. People can already feel the results and many people say, "It's okay, I'm done already, I feel like I can breathe now, I don't have a problem with it, and thank you very much." But I tell them that you feel good now, but that doesn't mean you're completely healed, because you might feel it again tomorrow or later, the day after or the day after that. That is, if the aggressor causing this infection has survived somewhere, we need to eradicate it to the end. As a rule, 3 sessions are enough, and after that the patient is satisfied and begins to live a normal, fulfilling and comfortable life, because he can already breathe through his nose. He has no problem sleeping, he has no discharge during the day, nothing comes down. It is completely forgotten that they had this problem. And in some cases, there is a sensation, but the sensation is not really that there is a discharge from the nose, which is normal and an indicator of good, because what was fossilized already inside, stuck, the old infection in these infected layers, they are broken and come down, washed away, and there is already a new one. Tissues, new cells, and these organs are filled with healthy, viable cells.
It is noteworthy that the treatment process is absolutely painless. Moreover, it is also very pleasant, which is unanimously noted by the patients themselves. It was not painful. On the contrary, I had a pleasant warm feeling in my ears. Until now, I had a chilly feeling in my head and a headache. I had a sensation in my nose as if I had to sneeze, which was very mild. It was a pleasant procedure. So fragrant, warm that it enters these cavities and goes to the ear. When I came to the RegMed Georgia, I saw this gentleman. He is a very good doctor, smart, and he prescribed 3 sessions for me. After the second session, I almost got rid of everything I had. I think I was born again. I am happy with everything, and if I had bad thoughts and thought that nothing would help me and that I was doomed, everything disappeared, and I think that I was born again and I continue to live. Dr. Tengiz is an extraordinary professional, a true doctor.
All my experience is brought from America. Not only my experience, but also process management and treatment, know-how, and also all the equipment, all these devices that are needed. I brought everything from America, because I know that it is of good quality, it is reliable, it is effective, and so far, we are satisfied. And that's why our center is called the American Center of Regenerative Medicine, because our style, our approach, our therapy, our technologies are American.
So, sinusitis here at the RegMed clinic is just a diagnosis, which you can treat completely painlessly and, most importantly, once and for all. You will be able to continue to lead a healthy lifestyle.